he walked us over and showed us. It wasn't a crevasse, which is a big crack in a glacier,
Right.
but it was a water hole where all the water that melts like has to go somewhere, so it like creates these holes. Dude, it goes all the way down, and like he's like kind of standing by this thing. He's like, if you fall in there, like you're toast, like you're gonna die. So I was like,
thanks.
Like extra nervous. So I'm like,
shake it up. Yeah. The Martini boys. The Martini boys. Pour yourself a drink.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another week. Actually, a martini. And it's a really, really good day, or night, I should say, because guess who's back?
we're back, baby. Cheers.
Back
Clink and
again.
drink.
Clink and drink. We got our Tito's, sodas, and lime. Dude, you've been missed.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I was in Alaska for 12 days. Felt like 100. It was good. I've told you before, 12 is my max. I was like, I need to go home. It's fun, but there's only so much time. I like to get back into my routine, my rhythm, get back to work, get back to just the normalcies.
Yeah.
Back to you guys.
Yeah. Back to the table, the teeny table.
But Alaska was sick. It was a lot of fun. It was very just diverse. We went to so many different places. So we flew into Vancouver. So we started in Vancouver, which was a really beautiful city. And then we made our way up to Ketchikan. From Ketchikan, we went to Juneau. And from Juneau to Skagway to Glacier Bay and College Fjord. Those are boat days.
Okay.
Just looking at the beautiful scenery and the glaciers. It was like it was crazy. We saw so much wildlife. We saw orcas, humpback whales, gray whales, sea otters, sea lions, seals. So many bald eagles. We pulled into Ketchikan, and I woke up an hour early accidentally. I was going on a fishing trip, and I woke up, my alarm went off, but my phone was on airplane mode. So I turned on the TV in our room because there's no windows. We're in the middle of the boat, and it's just like it's like 4:30. I'm like, I meant to wake up at 5:30. Like it's 4:30 right now. So I was like, you know what? We're up. Like we both got up. So I was like, let's go check us out, like coming into port. So we got up there. We stood on the very top deck, which I think is like the 17th deck or something like that. And just like Lindsay had her camera, I had my binoculars. We just cruised into Ketchikan, and dude, there's just like 20 to 30 bald eagles just flying around. It was really cool.
That is cool.
One went right over the boat, like right overhead, and dude, their wingspans are like they're so big.
I've never seen one up close, but I've seen pictures, and yeah, they're massive.
Yeah.
What do you think they are? If you were like standing right in front of one, they're probably
Like how tall? Or
tall and like wide.
Well,
I
dude, their
guess,
wingspans are like
feet-wise.
8 to 10 feet. They're huge.
That's insane.
So like,
Yeah.
you know, for us, our wingspan is like about the height of you.
Okay.
So this should be like 6 feet, dude. It's bigger. That's crazy.
That's
they're huge.
wild. Yeah, those talons.
And then when they sit up, I mean, they're like this high off the ground. They're massive. Lindsay got a really cool picture of one that landed on a cross on the very top of a church. That was cool.
That's cool.
But
That's very cool.
not to jump ahead, but yeah, so our flight out, we get on the plane, the pilot's like, hey, we're going to have to stop in Salt Lake City. This is supposed to be the first nonstop flight from Boston to Vancouver in like 30 years or something. And we get on, and he's like, yeah, we're going to have to stop in Salt Lake City. I'm like, well, there goes that statistic. And he said, basically, we're on a smaller plane. There's a lot of thunderstorms around the country, so we're going to have to like basically dodge them and evade them. We're going to have to land in Salt Lake City, fuel up, and then on to Vancouver. So we went like down over Texas from Boston to get to Vancouver, which is like normally like follow the Canadian border.
Right.
We went down over Texas to get up to Salt Lake City and then up to Vancouver. So we got in 4 hours late. That part sucked, but
How long was the flight? Since you had to like dip down to Texas and back up.
to Salt Lake City, I mean, it was probably 5 hours maybe.
Okay.
And we refueled. We were probably there for like an hour and a half from landing to takeoff, which kind of sucked, and then on to Vancouver. So we ended up being 4 hours late because we had to stop and go the weird way, but it is what it is. Flying,
Yeah.
and my mother-in-law said this a few times, and I think I have to agree now. It's like flying's not fun anymore.
No,
Like it used to be
it's
fun.
not.
Like you'd wake up like I'm going on vacation, but now it's like it's stressful. I just
I
want to get to
agree.
where I'm going. Like we've talked about it many times here. It's like we're gonna like if we have to pay more, we're gonna always do nonstop because
Yes.
direct flights are the way to go. You just get there. You don't have to worry about your luggage getting lost.
If it's allowed.
if
I
you
know.
can.
Yeah, exactly. Like to get to like Los Cabo, Los Cabo, right?
Cabo San Lucas.
Cabo San Lucas. Yes, there you go. Baja California is what I was trying
Yeah.
to say. That like there's no direct flight.
Yeah.
So if you have
Which
to,
is crazy
because
because it's not far.
No.
Like California's 6 hours.
Right.
So Baja is like probably the same, maybe
It's-
a little bit longer.
Way south and like at the tip, but still, yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like we can do it.
But so the flight out was rough, but the cruise was sick. It's it's like you said, it's like an all-inclusive resort, but like you travel to different ports.
Right.
So in Ketchikan, I went fishing, but like there's a buffet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So whenever you're hungry, you go get food. There's 3 main dining halls. They all serve the same thing, but it's like kind of different vibes.
Okay.
Different parts of the ship, different servers, different, I don't know, everything. You can also set your pace. So one night we had our pace set to slow. Dude, people were my patients were very well practiced for this trip. I was like, it is what it is. Our food's going to come when it's going to come. Our drinks are going to come. But like 30 minutes before we even order drinks.
Wow.
And then another 20 to order appetizers and like dinner. It's like, I think maybe when the drinks came or when we ordered our drinks, we're like putting in our apps and dinners too. So after that, we learned the hard way, just set it to fast. So,
okay.
they come over, they get your drinks right away. You order your appetizer. That comes, and then your dinner comes.
Right.
As it should be.
Right.
Like, waiting that long is just ridiculous. Some people like to sit and chat, and, at that point, we're just hungry. So
Yeah.
But the dining rooms are cool. The buffet is always going. There's must have been over 10, maybe 10 to 15 bars on the ship. So wherever you are, you're at the pool, the kids are swimming, or you're at the hot tub, or you're at, there's like 3 or 4 different lounges, and there's bars outside of or in each of them.
Okay.
So we had drinks in our hands pretty much all the time. We had
the
a
way to do
15
it.
drink limit with the package we got, which like we never even, the closest I came, I think I had 12 drinks one day, but that includes coffee,
Yeah.
that includes, water bottles, but sodas are unlimited. I didn't really have much soda, but, you just show up to any bar, Tito's a soda lime, please. Or, Lindsay and her mom were drinking mimosas at one point. They have everything.
Yeah.
We
that's
had
cool.
we had Alaskan duck farts. I don't know if you saw that snap.
I did. I've heard all about them, but never had it.
Yeah, so it's like Kahlua, Bailey's, and like a cream, Irish cream maybe,
Okay.
which I thought maybe one of those is, but it was strong.
It's cream.
Lindsay did one with me, and I don't think we had another one.
Is
Unfortunately,
it heavy? It's heavy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's whiskey. So it's whiskey, Irish cream, and Kahlua.
Okay. Did it curdle at all?
No,
Okay. Huh.
no.
I've heard all about it. Is it because it looks like it?
Or maybe it's whiskey, Bailey's, and Kahlua. So Bailey's is like
Okay.
an Irish cream, but
Okay.
either way, it's yeah, it was strong. We had one. She wanted me to finish hers. I said no way. But I tried to get her to go back. I was like, we gotta go to have more duck farts. Like we're here. Like one of the YouTube videos we watched of the cruise ship. They're like every night we had an Alaskan duck fart. I'm like, that's the way to go.
That's the way to go.
But we just had she drank gin and tonics. I had vodka sodas, and we had a good time.
It's the way to
but-
do it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't have breakfast very often.
Right.
And then lunch is pretty small, and then I have like a normal dinner. But we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner most days on the ship. And like, even if we were in port, like in Juneau, we stopped and would have a drink, or like would go to like, a gift shop or a candy store. A lot of places had like fudge and stuff like that, so we indulged. But I was like, we might as well go back to the ship and have lunch because it's free, or it's already paid for. It's included.
Oh yeah.
So instead of paying another $50-$60 to go out to lunch in one of the ports, like it's fun and all, but the food on the ship is great. So we figured, why not?
If it's good and it's free.
And then we did one dinner that we had to pay for. It was our anniversary dinner. So we had our first anniversary. So
That's
cheers
good.
to that.
Cheers to that too.
So that was
It
pretty
worked.
sick.
It all worked out.
It was
I
great.
remember before you left.
Yeah, we had some issues with scheduling things. The app and we scheduled everything in April, or Lindsay did.
Right.
And like somehow it all got canceled or like erased at like 3 a.m. on like May 20th.
We were together. I remember it.
Whatever it was, I was like, what the hell?
Lindsay was like, I'm getting so mad.
Right.
I want to backtrack for 1 second.
Sure.
Just the Salt Lake City thing. So it's funny that you were sidetracked and had to fly to Salt Lake City.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious because when we were in Vegas, You guys left the day before.
That's right.
Panji and I did one more day. Also to sober up, kind of just walk around.
Yeah.
Because it's a long flight.
Hold hands, I know.
Exactly, yeah. Cuddle, one
He
bed.
told me all about it.
Oh, yeah. That's for another episode.
Ooh.
But that's where all the stuff with my head happens.
Right.
And we were diverted that way up north more, and I think the altitude caused a slight brain bleed, but it was to Salt Lake City. And it was because they said the plane had too much fuel. So we were going to go from Vegas.
You dick.
So it was like too much gas. So we're going to duck fart up to Salt Lake City, drain it, then put the correct amount into the tank.
That sounds like a lie to me.
It was so ridiculous, man. But
that sounds like a lie.
That's the only reason why I wanted to bring that up.
No, it's funny.
But I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But we're gonna keep talking about Alaska. My biggest question to you, because I've never been on a cruise yet. I don't get motion sickness or anything like that. Love roller coasters. I go upside down, do corkscrews. We've skydived before. So, how was it being in a room with no windows?
It's fine. It's kind of nice, honestly, because I like pitch black, and we had a noise machine, so I just turn on the white noise, and I'm like gone.
Oh yeah, yep.
And it was different because for the first 7 days we're on the cruise with no windows, and then the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, whatever, maybe it was 8 days on the cruise and 4 days off the cruise. 3 days we're in Denali National Park.
Not India,
dude. So it's so different because the cruise is dark as shit, and you get to Denali, the sun doesn't set till 12:30 at night, and it comes back up at 3:30 in the morning. So it's dark. It's bright out when you go to bed, and it's bright out when you go to when you wake up, and it's like you just have to kind of force yourself to close your eyes and go to sleep because it's still bright out. We had dinner at 11:30 one night, and the sun was still setting.
Yeah, might as well have breakfast or something. Or
yeah, I mean, being on the cruise and having the dark windows, I liked it just because I like it being dark. Like at home, I have blackout curtains. I try to keep it as dark as I can, pretty much.
That's cool.
But the only and you mentioned motion sickness, the boat wobbles a tiny bit more than I remembered it doing. I went on a cruise when I was 10, so I don't remember all of it. But the first morning, I was like, "Do you guys feel that?" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "I feel rocky. Like I can feel the boat rocking a little bit." And if you look out any of the windows or you're on the deck and you set one of the handrails on the horizon, you'll notice it going up and down a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone thought I was crazy. And I went back to my room and I had to use the restroom. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, my towel's on the door and my towel's hanging. They're all moving a little bit. It's definitely rocking. And apparently
it's proof.
The ship has stabilizers that go out 25 feet. So if it kind of wobbles one way, it kind of pulls it back the opposite way.
Oh, that's cool.
To help it, because otherwise it'll be very wobbly. But yeah, you kind of get used to it. There was a few times where I'd just be standing there and if you don't correct yourself, you're gonna fall back.
That's crazy.
Kind of weird.
Well, I know this, and I feel like it's the same with you. Like you noticed it more. You didn't remember it before. Even going on roller coasters, like the spinny cups and all those amusement park rides and stuff, that definitely starts to turn my stomach a little bit more now. So I feel like if I was on a cruise, the older you get, the more times you go to Salt Lake City.
Yep.
Just kidding. but
something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know how I would feel with no windows, but because even on a plane, some people have to be in the aisle because they like to get up, don't feel trapped. I like the window because I can rest my head and fall asleep, but I can see out.
It kind of helps you have a sense of where you are.
Right. So I don't know.
I don't know. It didn't bother me. I don't think you would notice it, honestly.
I wouldn't.
But
Lexi would go nuts. We're not going on a cruise yet.
You can get a room with a balcony, so they have windows and balconies and everything. So Stu, my mother-in-law, and Lindsay's grandmother, and my mother-in-law's cousin, they all shared a room with a balcony. So occasionally we'd go up there and just have a cocktail and sit on their balcony and watch the ocean.
That's cool.
Nice.
Well, the pictures you sent, the videos you sent, last episode, I was talking all about you, honestly. What was 12 days felt like 12 years.
Felt like a while.
It felt like a long time.
I mean, it always goes by, but they're like, oh man, I can't believe it's over. I'm like, the first day feels like so long ago now.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of both. It goes by quick, 12. But
yeah,
it's. I was ready to come home.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever be on a cruise just because being married now and stuff. I'm not going to go on one by myself, and I'm not going to
get a balcony.
Get a balcony.
It's fun. It's cool because you go to different places. My first cruise, I did San Diego, Or no, we did Long Beach to San Diego to Catalina Island and to like Baja. Went to Ensenada, Mexico.
Okay.
So it's cool to see like different places. Like, you know, I was young, it didn't really matter, but like going to different places in the world now, like I got to see like 5 different parts of Alaska. They were very different, so it was very cool to experience them all. My favorite was Ketchikan, the first place.
Ketchikan.
So that's the place where I went salmon fishing that morning. I woke up an hour early by accident, but it worked out.
They sell Heinz ketchup there.
We got out on the boat. There's like 5 of us. There was a son or a nephew and uncle, and a husband and wife, and me. So I was the only like person not with a partner. Okay. Which like no big deal. I don't care. I love fishing anyways. And then we had 2 captains, and they get us out there, dude. In the first, as soon as they dropped the line, probably within like 4 or 5 minutes, we had fish on. So I was first up. So you take the rod out of the holster, you kind of like wedge it on your side, dude, and you're just reeling. And we're trolling. Keep in mind, so the boat's moving a little bit, and we're reeling in the fish that are fighting the opposite way. I'm like, it was a hell of a workout reeling this fish in, but we caught a few king salmon. That was my target species. There was a few pink salmon. I didn't catch anything big enough to keep or cook, unfortunately. If I did, it had to be like 28 inches, and the fish I was catching were like 25. I was like, come on, let me keep one. But
where would you store it?
They would
freeze it?
They bring it back to the boat and cook it for you. You write down your table number and your family number or family name and all that stuff. Or they put it on ice and send it home for you. So they would have had it back here.
Oh, that's right.
Cool.
You did mention that because I was like, if you could catch something
that would have been cool. But
send me something.
Unfortunately, I was a few inches shy. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And no, a couple of guys caught pink salmon, and pink salmon is what they can. So when you get canned salmon at the store, like with tuna and stuff, it's the pink salmon. There's no restriction on that. So they were smaller than my fish, but they got to keep them. Okay. So one kid had it cooked on the boat for him that night. I was like, "What's your table number? I'm coming by for a bite." Fresh Alaskan salmon. That would have been awesome. But
love a good salmon.
We had a lot anyhow, which was great. So, but
did they catch a can with tuna in the can? Catch a can with fish in the can.
But
catch it if you can. Fish in the can at Ketchikan.
It was cool. It was beautiful.
What was your? Well, we're talking about food. I'll stay on that for a second. From like a scale like 1 to 10, overall food from cruise. What do you
overall like an 8, dude. It was good.
It's hard.
All the dining rooms we had good food. I had seared ahi one night, which I love, like tuna, like sushi grade tuna. It was a little bit overcooked, like less tuna, like less sushi, but it was still very good.
Did they have sushi? Did they do sushi rolls?
I think there was a sushi night. We didn't go to it.
Okay.
I don't know what we did. Maybe we were at our anniversary dinner, but it was good. I mean, one of my favorite things I had was like a pesto ravioli. Dude, the sauce was so incredible. And like Lindsay and I shared an app, and it came with like 8 or 10. And we gave one to Nana. We gave one to Lindsay's mom's cousin. Like we gave a couple away. I'm like, I should have ordered 2 of these.
Right.
I could eat
now you got to wait another 30 minutes or whatever for it to come.
Yeah. So that was good. I mean, the buffet was fine.
It's hard. It's hard to find. Like, for you to rank it an 8, that's good,
dude. It was the
being on the boat too.
Good.
It's like that's awesome.
No, they're no joke. They have really good chefs and everything. They had one night a culinary tour. We didn't do it, but a few people in our group did. They take you out to like it's called the Princess Theaters on the Princess Cruise Line. So they take you to the theater. They do a whole demonstration of how they cook and catch or cook and prepare some of these foods. And then they take you in groups. I mean, there's like a lot of people in this. They take you in groups, I think, of a smaller number back to the kitchen and actually give you a tour of the kitchen and show you everything, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, the food was no joke. They were very good. One night I had a puff pastry, like kind of bowl, and inside that was shrimp and like lobster bisque.
You sold me on the puff pastry.
Dude. It was so good.
Dude, lobster bisque.
And then there's desserts every night. So we had baked Alaska, which is like a Neapolitan ice cream with like a cooked whipped cream on top,
cool.
like a frosted a torched whipped cream.
Yeah.
That was really good. I think I had turtle, like turtles, like caramel and pecans.
Oh, yeah.
It was a turtle cheesecake.
Pretzel in it or something. Yeah.
Dude, it was so good. We got a couple of anniversary desserts. They sang to us. I wonder if, I'm sure Lindsay remembers because she remembers everything, but I forgot. But on our anniversary, and there's a lot of anniversaries and birthdays, they come over and they sing, but they sang, Happy versary to you.
Oh my.
Happy versary. Not anniversary,
Right.
versary. It's like happy
Happy
versary, happy versary, happy versary to you. So like they came over and sang, they gave us like this like awesome cake. But yeah, dude, the food was amazing. It was really good.
That's really good to hear.
And the breakfast, I mean, you can't, dude, I love breakfast buffets. I just load up on bacon. I get eggs. I get English muffin. I get fruit.
Sausage.
Dude, they had sausage. They had everything. They had bagels with lox. They had French toast. They had waffles, pancakes, whatever you wanted, dude. And you just go up and you grab it. And then when you're done, someone just magically takes it away from you and you go up
Right.
and get seconds.
Get more, yeah.
But
Well, we've changed our kind of recording dates to Wednesdays, and Wednesdays are Wing Wednesday
Wing Wednesday, baby.
by us. Wing Wednesdays, baby. And we're always somehow talking about food, and it's always getting me hungry, but all that sounds so good.
It was
Yeah.
it was fantastic, yeah.
What would you say was your favorite, or like one of your favorite moments like in Alaska?
So in Juneau, we took a helicopter to a glacier. And that wasn't just
That
a
was sick.
favorite moment of Alaska. That was like a top 5 experience in my life. I grew up around aviation. I love aviation. You got the Cessna shirt on today.
I got my pilot's license when he was away.
You watched YouTube once?
Cessna. Yeah.
So I love it, but I've never been in a helicopter. So we get there, I'm like a little nervous because I'm like, you know, these guys, they want to make it to the ground just as much as you do. Same with parachuting. But with a plane, it's like, I always trusted my father. Like, I'm like, if the engines go out, we have wings. We can glide down, find a road or a field or whatever. We'll make it work.
Right.
But with a helicopter, if you lose your... They have this thing called auto rotation. So if you do lose power, they pretty much drop. And I think that creates the propeller to spin enough that it like creates a bubble and you like don't hit the ground.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So you see a lot of helicopter pilots practicing auto rotation. But anyways, we got in the helicopter. There's 4 of us in the back, 3 in the front, including the pilot. It was so cool. We went up and we went over Mendenhall Glacier, which is a very famous glacier. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it and seen it. We flew over that, and then we flew back to this other glacier called the Herbert Glacier, and it's huge, dude. Like a huge ice field, basically, is what it looks like. The helicopter goes up, banks around one side, like we're sideways in this helicopter. I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is so cool. It's fun. It's like a roller coaster.
Right.
We banked around the other side, and then you don't realize how big it is until... So there was 2 helicopters. You don't realize how big it is until the first helicopter goes down and lands, and you're like, that little speck is the helicopter?
Right.
Like, that's going to be us in a second. So we landed and walked around the glacier. It's 1,000 feet thick of ice
Damn.
in
Wow.
in a valley, basically, between these mountains. And we drank glacier water. It was amazing.
Was it? Oh, I bet.
He walked us over and showed us... It wasn't a crevasse, which is a big crack in a glacier.
Right.
But it was a water hole where all the water that melts like has to go somewhere, so it like creates these holes. Dude, it goes all the way down. And like he's like kind of standing by this thing. He's like, if you fall in there, like you're toast, like you're gonna die. So I was like
thanks.
like extra nervous. So I'm like inching my way over there, like trying to see over. You know, he's kind of like holding our arms like while we look. I'm like, that's cool, but like I can't see enough to like look down this thing. I'm not gonna get that close. So but yeah, landing on a glacier in a helicopter and drinking glacier water and like just walking around, it was so cool.
Purest.
And that was the
form.
coldest too. So we dressed for like winter, or we packed for winter and kind of like spring, I guess. That was cold. It was cold. It was rainy. So it must have been like low 40s or high 30s and kind of rainy up there and cold. We had weatherproof fleece lined pants and jackets, and we had our beanies on and gloves. And then you go back to the airport and land, and it's like 65 degrees.
Damn.
So the rest of the time out there was like between like, I don't know, 65 and 75. It was beautiful, dude. We had amazing weather every day.
Yeah.
Something I got to mention here. So Lindsay and I went to Maui last year, and a month later, Lahaina burned down.
You're cursed, aren't
Most
you?
of Lahaina. Did I already tell you about this or show
No.
you?
No.
A month later, it burned down. I got a text yesterday from my mother-in-law's cousin. She sent a link. It had a picture of our lodge in Denali, and behind that was wildfires. They're evacuating all of Denali National Park right now, and people are like getting different hotels, changing all their reservations. It's like what everywhere we go burns down afterwards. And like we kind of carried that with us to Alaska. We said, when you say you're going to go back, like in Maui, like, oh, maybe if we come back, we'll do it. No. Not anymore.
Right.
When you go on vacation, you want to do something, do it. Because
Right.
you never know what's going to happen.
No.
Lahaina burned down. And there's so much damage out in Hawaii now from that because of that fire.
Oh, they're still repairing.
that, like stuff we can't ever do again. So we kind of brought that. So that's why we did the helicopter tour in Juneau. We were like, we wanted to fly helicopters in Maui, so we didn't. We didn't for whatever reason. So we did the helicopter tour here, and it was awesome. But now it's like, dude, I'm not kidding. The link she sent showed like this bridge and our lodge, and then fires all in the background. It's like everywhere we go around our anniversary or wedding burns down.
I'm glad you brought
It's
that up.
crazy.
I'm glad. Yeah, you. I think you sent us a text in one of our group chats, and you were like, "We must be cursed or whatever." But like, I wasn't thinking about it at this moment, but I'm glad you did because
Yeah, it's
now
crazy.
it's twice.
It's nuts. It literally showed, like, so she sent it, and I said, that's our lodge in the picture with the fires in the background. She's like, I didn't even realize that until you mentioned that. There's a bridge in the picture that we took pictures on. There's our lodge. I think they're okay. Like, I don't think it's, like, spreading. I haven't heard anyways.
What would have started it? Just the heat or something? Like
There's
what?
a lot of trees out there are dead because there's, like, a beetle infestation.
Okay.
And there's a lot of thunderstorms. So the lightning, all it takes is one tree to light, and it
Right.
just spreads.
Yeah, it's like spark. Yeah.
So I hope they're doing okay, but I know they evacuated all the places that we were at out there already. And like this is just like a week ago. Like we just missed it.
Same with Maui. You're
Yeah.
like, it was like what? 2 weeks?
It was a month for Maui. This one was
Okay.
like literally 2 days later.
But still, like,
it's great. We got lucky, man.
because your honeymoon could have been a month later.
We went to Italy and then COVID hit. It's like
I know. It's like,
we get lucky and then all hell breaks loose.
well, I'm with you on that. So, the moral of the story: if you're thinking
Just
about
do it.
doing something, just
Yeah,
do it.
Enjoy it.
Make sure you can.
My brother's going to I think Barbados for his honeymoon in
There's a hurricane.
October, and there was a hurricane there like this past week.
I was gonna bring
I
that
hope
up.
everything's okay. I haven't seen anything on the news, but
So it's all over TikTok. I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but there's a hurricane level 5 or what is it called? Category 5,
Yeah.
and it's going through Barbados, but it's Jamaica that it's hitting. And so this morning, actually, Lexi and I were watching videos, and so these people, which if you're going to the Caribbean during the summer, something's wrong with you because that's the biggest time for storms, biggest time for hurricane season, and you're leaving an area to go to like 110 degrees weather and sweating, and I don't know.
it's crazy.
It is crazy, but so the video, in Jamaica at the Sandals Resort, the manager or like the owner of Sandals, at least in Jamaica, comes out and he's on like a megaphone, like microphone, like a booth with like the speakers, and he's telling everyone, he's like, if you've never been here before during a hurricane, treat it respectfully. Like they took all the pool seats, all the pool lounge chairs, put them into the pool so that they don't fly. He's like, things are gonna start
Like in the
flying.
water?
No, just in like, so they drained all the pools.
Oh wow.
All restaurants are closed.
It's crazy. It's a scary area.
It is.
Like that stuff is like normal to them, right?
Yeah, and they're like, service is now our second priority, and the thing he said was
First
that
priority is survival.
yeah, is like
Make sure
safety
everyone's
is now number
protection,
one.
yeah.
He's like, service is going to be slow, restaurants are closed. Don't just be like coming out here like filming videos and being stupid. Like they're boarding up windows. Like,
Wow.
dude, Category 5 is
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
like
no joke.
140 to 150 miles per hour.
Yeah.
He's like, you will see stuff flying around. Like this is no joke.
Stay away from the windows. Stuff's
Yeah.
gonna shatter. It's
So-
crazy.
It is.
So-
So the buffet was the only thing that's open. Is currently the only thing that's open. But
Wow. Yeah, hopefully
I
it's
hope.
all okay and everyone, obviously survives and everything stays intact.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it is.
But
Well, I'm gonna take a drink swap here. So I went to Colorado.
you did?
I did. That's where I got my pilot's license. And then went to the Rockies.
Here, let me open that.
Yeah, show us your party trick. Show us your party trick.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, I'll join you. Hey. Whoa,
Hey, where did you get
hey.
that from?
Oh.
Woo! Hell
Cheers.
yeah. Cheers, man.
The mountains are blue, by the way.
We're switching. Blue Mountains? Oh, yeah. Why? Because they're supposed
Oh,
to be.
turns out these are twist offs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's all right. Rocky.
It's
and they're
funny.
not
So when we
Rockies?
were in
No.
Glacier Bay and College Fjord, we just saw mountains. And pretty much most of the trip, you see mountains covered in snow and ice. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen these mountains on the Coors bottle. Obviously, there's just supposed to be like Denver and Colorado mountains, but I was just joking that
They're not Rocky Mountains.
all the
are they,
mountains.
Right?
What?
Is it Blue Mountains? You said not Rocky Mountains.
Where?
Or are they Rocky Mountains?
No,
Right.
these are like the Rockies.
Okay, yeah.
Because Coors is in Colorado.
Yeah. Cheers. This is a delicious martini.
Drinking beers, baby. I don't drink
Not-
beers that often.
Nope, same. It's always clear now. I don't miss the bloating, so you know me. I used to love my craft beer.
I know. Now we Tito's and soda. That's all I
Cheers
need.
and soda all day.
That's all you need, baby.
But we're always going to be the Martini Boys, so don't get any thoughts. Well, we were just talking about storms and stuff and disastrous, devastating events. Not that this happened to you, but when you were in Alaska, if any, were there anything in particular that you wouldn't do again, or like was the worst? Not the worst part, because I feel like the whole trip was surreal, but
Yeah, I mean, there really weren't any bad parts. The only parts that stunk was like travel off the ship. We took to get to Denali for 3 days. We took an 8-hour train. That's a long day.
Tough,
But
man.
dude, it's glass from like your elbows all the way to the top. So it's a panoramic glass view of all these mountains and all
that's
the beautiful
sweet.
scenery. We got to go down below, and there's like a restaurant so you could eat at, you could drink at. They bring you drinks up top, and then there was also we were in the caboose. So we had a platform on the very back of the train to like stand out and get some fresh air and kind of look at things.
That's cool.
That was very cool.
And it was like a regular locomotive train, or was it the electric ones?
No
those
speed
things?
trains
Yeah.
or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we went pretty slow, I'd say, for the most part. But
Yeah.
the views were cool, and it's like a whole glass roof.
I mean, that's an experience in itself.
It was cool.
Long, but
Yeah. And so we went from Whittier all the way up to pretty much near this town called Healy. It's on the way to Fairbanks, Alaska.
Okay.
But we went through Anchorage, went through all this stuff, and like I'm like on moose watch the whole time. I'm like, all I want to do is see a moose.
yeah.
So I did eventually get to see one in
that's
Denali
good.
National Park.
Nice.
Got pictures of it and everything is cool. But yeah, the travel is long. 8-hour train ride up there. We had a 5-hour bus ride back to Anchorage before we traveled, and it's like you take the bus 5 hours, and we stayed the night. Thank God, dude. We stayed the night in Anchorage, and then the next morning we had a 3-hour flight to Seattle. We had like an hour or maybe 2-hour layover there, and then 5.5 home. We got home at like just after midnight.
Wow.
It's a long day.
It is.
And on the
lot of
plus side,
traveling.
I mean, I'd work the next day. I got to go in a little bit late, but on the plus side, it's like when we landed at midnight there, that was 4 hours behind in Alaska, so it was only 8 p.m. like in our biological clocks
Okay.
since we were adjusted to it. But
Yeah, how's your jet lag now?
the opposite of that, the con
Yeah, what's the con?
was we didn't fall asleep till like 3 that night, and I went to work at like 10 or 11 the next day.
That sucks. I know.
I'm finally getting back into it. I was a little bit like yawny today, but like last night I went to bed at like 11:30. I was exhausted, so I closed my eyes and went to sleep.
That's
which is
good.
pretty normal for me.
Yeah.
Woke up at 7:30, which is normal. So I'm getting back to it.
I feel like the mind is a delicate thing, but if you train it
It's
right,
tough.
yeah, it's tough.
Like people in the military that like fly all the time, like they're trained to like close their eyes and go to sleep. I couldn't do that.
I don't know how they do it.
Like my friend who was stationed in Tacoma near Seattle, he'd fly out to like Afghanistan. I'm like, it's 12 hours apart. Like how do you like? He's like, you just train yourself to sleep when you can.
That's unbelievable.
So it's gotta be tough, but the jet lag was a little.
Was
bit
worse
rough.
for Hawaii, right?
Hawaii was 6 hours.
Yeah,
so
it
we
was
tried
more,
to stay
right?
on
Yeah.
California, like West Coast times. We'd go to
Okay.
bed at like 9 p.m. and we'd wake up like 6 a.m. trying to keep it a little bit okay. But I mean, same with Italy. I remember when I was in Italy in 2019, I text my dad like when I was waking up, and he was just going to bed.
Damn. Yeah.
So it's wild. It's different.
I know you definitely. I could tell like you were probably either lounging or chilling or in bed, ready to go to bed, and you would send like a couple videos or something like reels. But like I would wake up to see it, and it would be like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
I
my
know.
time.
It's
I'm like,
nuts.
what is he doing?
The funny part, shout out to my friend Alex. He was going fishing at like 3:30 in the morning, which is like 11:30 in Alaska. So I'd be
Okay.
like sending him a snap, like getting ready to go to bed. He's like, "Yep, I'm just waking up
Just
to go
waking up.
fishing."
That's awesome.
You psycho.
That's hilarious.
So, but
Well-
it was a hell of a trip. It was an awesome experience. You got to check that off the bucket list, and
It's the best way to see it,
it was
apparently.
cool. It was cool, yeah. Because I mean, a lot of places up there you either get to by boat or plane. There's
Right.
not like a few of the places we went were islands. Like you don't drive
That's
there.
crazy. Yeah.
If you have a car there, you got it shipped there.
Wow.
So you either get there by boat or by plane. And like I think I read that more people have a pilot's license than driver's license in Alaska. Cessna.
Everything's a Cessna, baby.
It was cool. It was very cool to see all the seaplanes.
Dude, it looked awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back, though. I'm glad you made it there safe. Glad you got back safe.
Thank
considering the delays and these friggin' fires now. That
you. Yep,
cheers, bro.
It was cool. I think we saw lots of eagles, and I mentioned all the whales and sea otters and stuff. But we got to see one black bear just munching hard on dandelions.
Some cactus.
Dandelions.
Oh, okay.
So it's in this field. We pull up in the bus right next to it. It's just mind its own business eating dandelions. When you zoom in on it and like the iPhone or camera, its head and neck and like start of the back were covered in fuzzies because he's just going through this dandelion field like munching, and they're just like blowing onto him and stuff. He's covered. And then we saw a moose. That was my target species for Alaska. I was like, I'm dying to see a moose. We live in New England. They're in New Hampshire. They're in Vermont. I'm sure they're in Mass too. It's like I've just never seen one.
That is it's a massive creature.
It was
massive
so,
animal.
So we saw this one, and it was standing up, and we came around the bend, and it laid down. So I got awesome pictures on Lindsay's camera of it laying down. That's cool.
That is really cool.
We got to see caribou too.
Caribou?
It was a little sad. It should have been. They said it should have been a lot further south, like towards the snowy mountains and the glaciers. So it didn't. Something happened and maybe got sick, but it was basically laying under a bridge in the shade to like stay cool. But like, yeah.
Older or like
I don't know.
Yeah.
It had a heck of a rack on it, so
whoa.
She must have been.
Hang up your dirty laundry on that bad boy.
Yep. But it was awesome. So happy to share it. I showed you lots of pictures, but I'm sure I'll show you more. But
oh yeah, offline I'll see some of the good stuff.
Other than that, we had a good time. The craziest thing I saw.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
We were driving back in this Jeep. So we did a Jeep tour on the Denali Highway. It was probably 12 to 14 Jeeps just in a caravan. You drive your own Jeep. So I drove and had Lindsay's mom and Lindsay with me. And it's like there's CB radio, so he's giving you like a guided tour. He's talking about the mountains and the glaciers and the ice fields and all this stuff. On the way back, we were like in the middle of the pack. And we're driving on the regular highway now, 60 miles an hour, just 2-lane road. And I look in my mirror, and an orange, like Challenger, is flying up. And I'm like, oh, here comes somebody like it's a passing lane. That's totally fine. Like we're going a little bit slow.
Okay.
Do your thing, whatever. I see him coming up, and I see traffic coming towards us. And again, we're on a 2-lane road. We're going one way. Traffic's going the opposite way. And so I see traffic coming. So I slowed way down. I'm like, I'll just give this guy a hole. He can hop in front of me. No big deal. Nope. He wanted to keep going, and there's 3 Jeeps in front of me that were like at a pretty close like space. There wasn't a big gap, and he decides to try and go around all of them, or maybe he couldn't get in. Dude, he's flying into oncoming traffic, and the oncoming traffic had to swerve into the breakdown lane because he did not get out of that lane.
Wow.
So we're driving like this. There's traffic coming the opposite, and he's driving towards the traffic in their lane. And like I don't know if he didn't have a hole to get back over into our lane. Like I said, it's passing lane, it's legal, and whatever. We're driving slow. But he just like did it so dangerously. He stayed in oncoming traffic, and the oncoming traffic had to swerve into the breakdown lane, and he didn't leave that lane. I'm like, I get on the radio to like 14 cars. I'm like, well, that guy's an idiot. and the guy in the lead Jeep who's giving the tour, he's like, I'm sorry, what happened?
I said notice.
A Challenger just came flying up, decided to pass all our cars, and didn't get back into our lane and made oncoming traffic swerve. He's like, yeah. He said pretty much every Friday and Saturday there's like highway closures due to bad accidents because people just drive like that up here, like psychos.
Are you not really cliffside?
No,
but
we're not. No, it's flat. We're in the valleys between the mountains.
Okay, so like if you were to swerve off the road, where would you wind up in like
it just would have been like dirt and grass, but
trench or something?
Yeah, maybe
trench.
a little one. Yeah, but like,
come on, man,
it's still like insane. So that was crazy, but I don't know. People, I guess, are just animals.
They are animals. We are mammals after all. Well, I know we've been talking about Alaska a lot, but to all the viewers out there, what would your recommendation be? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alaska was like top of my bucket list. I'd really like to see the Canadian Rockies. Lindsay raves about Greece. I know you've talked.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe we should all go.
Dude, don't chat.
We did
with me
Italy,
about a good
which
time.
is pretty cool, but I think Greece would be really cool.
I've never been to Italy, so I would love to hit Italy. Try and hit Amsterdam or something a day or two, and also Greece. Yeah.
Ireland's on my list. Spain's on my list. I want to go to like Montana to keep it stateside at some point. Montana
Oh, yeah.
just looks like beautiful, but
I've never been there. Never been to
highly
Colorado.
recommend it. Comment below if you've ever been to Alaska, if you know what I'm talking about, a few of these places. Where's your favorite places you've been outside of Alaska, outside of the country? Just give us some recommendations. I mean, traveling it's what it's all about. You got to see the world, man.
It's
People
it's
get
a huge
so
part of
like
my
stuck
life.
in their bubble. You need to get cultured,
Buggle.
man. You need to see all these different cultures and all these different just types of people out there. And I saw this post the other day. It kind of resonated with me, and it said, "It's not the places, it's the people."
Oh,
We met so many good, nice people on the cruise that were from all over the country. Everyone we met in Alaska was really cool too. But it's funny, a lot of the places we went in Alaska, it's like tourist oriented. So the people there are seasonal workers. So it's like college kids that live in Colorado or New Hampshire or Florida,
That's cool.
and they come up and they work in Alaska for the summer.
That's pretty sweet.
Which
Yeah.
is like, looking back, I'm like, I wish I did that. That would have been cool.
That's a super cool experience.
But yeah, Alaska was awesome. I highly recommend it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I looked it.
It's humbling. It's educational, and it's gorgeous.
That's right up your alley. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do a Europe trip. We can do a Euro trip.
That'd be
Make our
fun.
own Euro trip.
I know we still talk about going back to California.
I know.
Which easy run. We
Oh,
can do
yeah. Yeah. Let's just not
But-
get stuck flying out to Salt Lake City.
that. Europe would be cool.
Europe would be awesome. Yeah. And
So,
you would appreciate it.
I'm going to California in early August. So I'll be gone for a week then, and then you're going to Vegas in October.
Yes.
Outside of Vegas, do you have any other travel plans coming up?
Next year, probably I think we're actually going to Cabo.
Nice.
That might be where we wind up. We're still looking a little bit, but prices are crazy, man. So I've always been into Barbados, and I know Mike's going, but we tried Expedia and all these different package deals, and I was just like, I couldn't believe how expensive it was.
And usually Mexico, I know you mentioned Cabo, but Cabo is like, from what I've heard,
Yeah.
the package deals at these resorts are like not too crazy, and it's like it makes sense to do it because of like what you would spend on food and drinks anyways.
Right.
Kind of like how we did the cruise, but I mean the cruise was pretty inexpensive. I think it was like $5,000 for the both of us,
That's where we would be looking
including
at. Yeah.
outside of the cruise. So
Right.
it was like, $2,500 a person for 10 or 11 days in Alaska, all food and drinks included.
It was really, yeah. I mean, five is like the number. 5 is what we've been striving at total, including flights, all inclusive. Mexico, we have looked at so many places, and unfortunately, because I know some people rave about Mexico. So sorry if you love Mexico and visiting there for a Caribbean trip, but we have just not been sold, and we just completely X'd it out because from reviews to people getting sick to the Cancun area with all the spring break action and just the wild, nutty places. I won't name names, but there was one resort that was highly ranked, and it looked gorgeous on the outside. And all the reviews are this place doesn't look anywhere near the photos. This is a drug ring, drug house. It's just yeah, I know smoking pot's legal, but it's excessive. There's nowhere.
What they call it, bait and switch.
Yeah, dude. There's no security. No one cares. Fights break out. People are breaking glasses. And
That's crazy. That's just too much.
it's too much. So we were
That's
absolutely
where
not Mexico
not. Oh, you're not going to Mexico.
at all.
But isn't Cabo
Well,
in Mexico?
So it's Baja California,
which is Mexico.
which is Mexico, but it's split. So it's obviously, as you know, you cross the border and it's attached, if you will, to
It's
California.
like a peninsula.
Right. So across what's the water? What's
I'm
the
not sure.
Yeah, it's something.
It's not the
sea
Gulf of
or
Mexico.
it's not Gulf of
It's
Mexico.
on the other side.
Okay. So going.
I think just the Pacific flows up into. I'm sure it's called a Gulf or something.
Okay, I think it's Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of California.
That's
but
what
whatever it is.
Gulf of California. I
Right.
think.
Okay. So on the California side, better off. It's more Americanized. It's more tourist, upscale. But when you get to the Cancun area, it was just. If we wanted a good time, we're gonna need to spend $10,000 to $15,000, and
It's a lot.
We're
That's
not
too
doing
much.
that.
No
Yeah.
way.
so wherever we end up, we'll end up. But We were thinking Cabo. We had a place in mind, but we're still looking. So we'll keep you informed.
Yeah. We have California.
on
We end up usually out there once a year to see my grandmother, and I have a lot of friends out there from college and stuff. So it's nice to visit.
You've never been to the Caribbean yet, though, right?
I haven't. I was.
I mean, you
I
like
think I mentioned
poolside.
somebody recently. I'd love to go.
We should. Not
Even like
now, but
is Bermuda considered the Caribbean?
no, but it's maybe it's so.
My
it's,
parents like rave about it. They went there for the honeymoon.
Okay,
ages, 35
it's like
years ago,
straight. If it's like straight away from like
Isn't that off,
the
like,
Virginia area.
but the Carolinas or something.
Yeah, it's just like straight out.
I would
that
love
way.
to go to the Caribbean. Either way.
Yeah, one day because it's poolside. Got some beautiful beaches. It's all inclusive.
Yeah.
Swim up bars. Tons of activities.
And I don't love to like. It's fun to sit at the pool, and we did a lot of like sitting at the beach and sitting at the pool in Hawaii. But I like to go off and do things too, and like do experiences,
Zip lining,
excursion.
rock climbing.
Yeah. We almost went
diving.
zip lining in Denali.
Okay.
We didn't have time, unfortunately, but we did the Jeep tour.
They have a bunch of stuff: ATVing, jet skiing,
Yeah, that'd
all
be
that
fun.
kind of stuff.
Hell yeah!
We'll have one
Lots
more.
to see in this world, man.
There's a lot to see and so little time, and so
Gotta
I'm
make
trying
it
to
out there.
do as much before the kids get into.
Turn 4.
Exactly. Yeah. I have one funny story before we go for tonight. So obviously we've been checking. Wait, while we do this, let's check our steps. What's our steps today?
Probably not. Wait. Before you do it,
Okay.
let's guess.
All right,
So in Alaska, I hit like 11,000, 12,000 a couple of days, like
that's awesome.
7 miles. Today, I'm guessing it's right around 5,000,
Okay,
plus or minus 200. Let's go with that.
I'm gonna say 8,500 steps.
You've been getting your steps in.
Yeah, 8,500 steps, and I'm gonna say 5 miles. Let's check it here.
It always reloads, and I'm like 0 steps, 0 feet, but it's like refreshing. Come on, there we go. Oh, ooh,
So more steps than I thought,
Same.
but less distance than I thought.
same. 5,947 steps, 2 miles, 2.81 miles.
9,285 steps, 4.88 miles.
There you
so
go.
under 5.
We walked like a lot in Alaska, and that's kind of the cool part about going on vacation without a car. It's like
Oh yeah,
you can eat a lot, but you walk a lot, so you kind of end up breaking even. I haven't weighed myself, and I ate a lot of food, dude.
Hey,
But
we're
back
gonna
to
end
it.
it on.
We
We're
went
gonna end it on chicken wings.
We went and got a bunch of groceries. It's all like steak,
Dude,
chicken,
I was
and veggies.
dying with that, dude. When you looked at the bill, because we say the same thing.
I couldn't believe Lindsay doesn't think so, but I think that was the most I've ever spent at the grocery store.
Inflation is unreal.
Well, we came
dude.
back too, so we had nothing. I'm like, we need everything: chicken, steak. And I bought a bunch of both, so I could put it in the freezer and take it out whenever. Lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, onions. Lunch meat, bread, like eggs, bacon.
I mean, you probably
vegetables and fruits and
went a little more overboard just because, like you said, you were gone.
yeah, it's
But-
crazy, man.
Lexi will go out to the grocery store just to buy like some necessities and a few snacks, and she's like,
Ends up being like $50 or $60.
she comes home and she's like, I just spent like $180. I'm like, on what? And we take everything out on the table, and it's like it doesn't even cover the
It
table.
makes no sense.
No sense. But I know this is all up and down. But the working out thing with the Apple Watch. So when I do
How many flights you got climbed? I got 14. I go up the
14?
steps a lot
Get
because,
the hell out of here.
dude, my work has
All
3
right,
floors,
all right.
so I go up and down.
18
Yeah, you work
flights.
downstairs, so you go upstairs a couple times.
And I walk, so it counts like what it, I guess, rules out to be. But so Lexi bought a package of 2. It came with 2, but it's the strap that goes around your ankle. And they say it's way more accurate when you're doing the walking exercises. Because if you're typing, you're not moving your
Is it like,
arms.
did the police issue it?
So, dude, I always joke, and I'm like, my neighbors are going to think I'm on like house arrest.
Ankle monitor.
Yeah, dude, because I work from home. So I'm always home when I'm working. And I have this friggin' thing around my ankle, and I'm like walking out to the mailbox. So people driving by, my neighbors probably like, no wonder he's home like all the time. And how does he afford like to live and
They
stuff?
like lock their doors when they drive by you.
Yeah, dude. The mailman's like, whoa, crap. But that was my little funny
That's
story.
funny.
Well, I took.
How many days have you worn it? Have you? Does it is it close to what your Apple Watch says?
It's like, I would say, I'm glad you said that because I did the test that you asked me to do as well, which I'll bring up. So when it's on your ankle, because it's always moving, no matter where you go, it's way more accurate. If I'm walking but I'm typing, my arm's not
That's true. That's a good point.
This is like it picks up the motion. So sometimes I feel like it's less than I actually did. So I'm always putting it on my ankle. And then I did so a few episodes back, you were like, you should test it out. So the Apple Watch seems to be more accurate. And the walking pad is definitely like...
Oh, because I told you to check the distance.
Yes.
I said, let me know when you hit a mile
So
on your
it's
watch.
like-
Let me know when you hit a mile on the walking pad.
Right. So it's like you've burned like 350 and you walked like 3 miles. And I'm like...
Your watch is like, you've done 1 mile.
Right. So, Apple Watch, baby. Well, I took it away last...
Who's to say which one's accurate?
Oh, I know. Sorry, I've interrupted you like 7 times saying the same shit.
No.
It is. This moves with you, and it's the best. It's great. So, if you're a walker or a runner, get those bands. But people might think you're on house arrest for unknown reasons.
And on that note, cheers.
Yeah. Well, actually, on this note, I'm a free man. I took it away last week, but take it away, my brother.
Taking it away.
I'm out. Take the mic.
Thursdays at 11 a.m. You can just check out the Martini sisters and their brothers. No. Thursdays 11 a.m. Martini boys. We're putting stuff out. Check out our reels, our content on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok as well. We're getting there, baby.
We're getting there.
Thanks for staying with us, and like I said, give us some feedback. What do you want to hear more about? Where have you been? Traveling's a lot of fun to talk about. The food's a lot of fun to talk about.
And don't just make it good. Like, tell us crazy stories. Tell us your worst experiences. Where to stay away from. Like, we're all about that.
We're here. So
we're here. We don't move from here. And
we stay here.
Yeah.
I don't move until
off camera. We just sit here all day.
I'm like, man, I can't wait till like we can record. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyways, cheers and
cheers. I'm happy you're back, dude. Oh hell yeah.
Wing Wednesday,
Everyone
baby.
missed you. Wing Wednesday. Peace out.
The Martini boy.